Hey guys, Blue and Gold Z. Today is July 17th, 2015, and it's a pretty exciting day for me. You may be wondering what you see in front of the camera, and just to let you guys know, it is 5 individual silver rounds that I just recently acquired. Well, the one in the middle with the two crossing AR-15s and the Texas flag and the cannon, I actually purchased that about 6 months ago. As I was buying the same coin for a friend, I decided to get one for myself. It's a pretty cool coin. On the flip side, it's got the Spartan helmet with all the spears crossing in the background and Molon Lave in ancient Greek on the back. And then again, it has the AR-15s crossing on the other side. But yeah, the rounds that you see on either side are basically the same coins. One is just one side, and then on the other side is the other side of the coin. They're from a company called Sunshine Mint. So they have the sun is basically their logo, and you can see that on the left side of your screen, and then you can see the eagle with the sun in the background on the right. But let me tell you what, guys, why I made this purchase, and these coins are part of a larger purchase. I don't, for security reasons, I don't want to post uh, all of my purchase out there. I think it's kind of silly that some people are trying to show off in their stack to show how much they've purchased. But this is only a part of the purchase that I just received today. And again, let me tell you the reason why I decided to make this purchase. So for the past couple of years, um, I've been looking to make a precious metals purchase, but I've been waiting for the prices to come down. When I first started looking into precious metals, I think that they were in the low $20 per ounce, and they used to be even lower than that. And then it's basically been a roller coaster ride over the past decade or so. I've been told, and I've done some reading, that I think silver went down to even less than $10 an ounce. I think back in the early 2000s. And if I had been aware of that and I had known what I know today, I would have made several large purchases. Because now, as of today, I think it's back up to roughly $15 an ounce, and that's not retail price. That's trading prices on the stock market and the bullion market. So that's roughly, I think retail prices right now are roughly $16.50, something like that, per ounce. And each of these coins, or rounds as they're called, that you see in front of you is 1 ounce. So let me tell you again the reason that I made a purchase just recently. And some of you that watch the news may have been aware of when, I think it was on the week of July 8th, there was a stock market glitch in the New York Stock Exchange, and trading was actually halted for like 4 hours. In addition, there were some crazy things that were reaching a climax point in Greece, as far as their financial debacle that they're going through, and whether or not they're going to default on the debt that was loaned to them by the IMF. And then what was even scarier was that I think on the same day, basically during the same time frame, China's stock exchange was having a massive bleed out. There were millions of stocks were being sold. Nobody was purchasing. Um, I'm not sure if I remember the correct percentage of the stock exchange that was being lost, but I remember the number like 13 or 30, something with a 3. Basically, China, from an economic standpoint, from a financial standpoint, as far as their stock market was concerned, I mean, it was like somebody had cut open like an artery, and the country financially was just bleeding, to the point that the Chinese government actually stepped in and started purchasing stocks themselves to try and stabilize the bleeding. But I mean, it's kind of like trying to put, a band-aid over a hand that's just been cut off entirely. You're not going to be able to stop the bleeding like that. So they actually went to the extreme measure of actually stepping in, because again, this is communist China. They actually stepped in and halted trading, meaning that you couldn't sell your stocks anymore. Even if you wanted to, everything shut down. The government stepped in and basically probably took like a small flamethrower to your, you know, open wound of a missing hand and basically just cauterized the wound to stop the bleeding. It was a pretty extreme situation. So, anyways, when I first started reading about this, the first thing I did is I went to the bullion sites and the precious metals online dealers that I had been eyeing for years, as I had been waiting for the price of various metals to come down. And what was shocking was that when I checked these sites that I normally go to, my go-to sites, and I checked for the rounds that I had been eyeing and purchasing, they were all gone. Everything had been sold out. And, I was just like, oh my God, my opportunity is gone. Well, luckily I did some more, Google searching, and I found some more large precious metals dealers that actually had pricing that was really good. And they had availability in stock. So I ordered a pretty decent amount of silver, which I think is arguably the best metal to probably invest in, because it's not as expensive as gold and it's not as cheap as like a copper or anything like that. And it's pretty much universal. If you go outside of the country, whether it's in Africa or in the Middle East or in Asia or even in South America, silver is highly prized. So I decided that silver was going to be the metal that I was going to look into, and now is going to be the time to pull the trigger. So in order to get the best pricing, you have to send in a check, and I wrote a check. I did an online order. I went to the local post office, sent the check, priority mail, overnight express. The company got it, verified that they had gotten the check. They needed to wait roughly 5 to 6 days to make sure that it was processed, and that I wasn't trying anything nefarious. And then they sent the metals, 2-day priority express, and I just picked them up today. I actually intercepted the post office lady as she was coming in, because I didn't want there to be any chances of any kind of theft or loss, putting it in like the mailbox, even though they do give you a key and everything gets locked away. Like, I actually intercepted her, showed her my ID, I signed for the medal, and off I went, back to my house. So one thing that I want to say, uh, that is a message to people out there that are looking at this video, because I want to keep it short, is this: pretty much most of the US population, as well as any Western country, 99% or more of our economic energy, basically meaning our rewards for working and or selling things, is basically stored in fiat currencies. Fiat meaning credit-based currencies that are printed out of thin air. And obviously the lead fiat currency is the US dollar. When you see what's happening in Greece right now, where the local government and the local banks are shutting down and telling the Greek people who have rightfully earned their money that they can only withdraw a certain amount per day or a certain amount per month. I think it's like 100 euros a month, which is nothing. It just shows you the vulnerability of fiat currencies, US dollar, euro, you name it, whatever it may be. So the logic behind me purchasing these rounds, as well as my plan to continue purchasing probably every month or every other month, is that if all of my currency, or if all of my economic energy is stored up in the US dollar, what is the harm in me diversifying and storing my economic energy and wealth in more tangible assets that cannot be withheld from me and cannot be filtered just like a US dollar can? That is the reason that I decided to purchase these coins, and will continue to purchase some coins from from other kinds of metals as well. I'll probably purchase a little bit of gold, might get a little bit of palladium, but I plan on sticking with silver. This is something that can basically be stored for the long term and cannot be printed out of thin air, and the banks can't tell you we can only give you a certain amount per day or per month. So if it's one thing that I'm trying to tell you guys out there, is diversify the way that you store your economic energy. Don't just store it in the US dollar, store it in other tangible means, such as precious metals. I have some more videos coming up on the specifics of these rounds as well as other silver and my other theories and my practices, which will come in later videos. So for now, I just want to let you guys know what I've been up to and, just sharing what I've managed to acquire. And there'll be more videos coming out in the future. All right, guys, Blue on Go Z signing out. Thanks.